All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kold Steel Tailgate. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are undefeated coming into this game. They are 3-0 at home. And I believe the Pittsburgh Steelers haven't won in Philadelphia since 1965, which is one crazy stat. Now, do keep in mind, there hasn't been a lot of games between the two teams in Philly when you think about that. So, minus that, it's still something to think about as we prepare to do battle with Philadelphia. And again, 3-0 at home is something that needs to be said. How are we doing, Steelers Nation? I'm going to be honest. I don't normally do this. I really don't. But this entire week, and I've had a lot of time to just marinate in this thought. Would it be actually crazy to think that the Pittsburgh Steelers can actually win this game? Is that crazy? Anybody in chat have any takes on this? Let's see who's all in chat. Of course, we got GT going off in the chat here. We got Leedy. He says, I expect the same shit as the Bills game week 5, sadly. So I think I know where Leedy's going here. Danielle's in the building, says, GT, you're going to get it if you're right. And of course, she's responded to GT, who says 45-10. Doesn't say who's going to win, though. Doesn't say who's going to win. By the way, I accidentally ended the freaking poll. Only 5 of you got a chance to vote, but all 5 of you said yes, he has to go no matter if the Steelers win today or not. And I agree. I agree. A win today doesn't mean anything in regards to Matt Canada specifically. If we win today, I think it really does come down to the Philadelphia Eagles pretty much shooting themselves in the foot, if I'm being honest. But anything's possible, and I can't believe I'm saying this because I've always been very harsh against this team, especially when it's warranted. But any given Sunday, man. Any freaking given Sunday. Maybe I'm just extra positive. I got some sleep last night. And I say that loosely because I did stay up to 2 o'clock in the morning. But I got up late, so I got some sleep. You know, I had a few, energy shots here. I've had a nice big breakfast on this beautiful Sunday. And again, I had time to think about it. Is it crazy to think the Steelers actually can win this game? Leedy says, battle a PA, but it doesn't feel like a battle. I don't know, man. I feel differently today. I honestly don't know why. I'm trying to figure that part out. Because again, anyone who's been subscribed here long enough knows I've been harsh against this team. And again, warranted. But today, I honestly don't know why I'm overcome by a positive feeling. Maybe this team has a lot more to lose or a lot more to gain than the Eagles do. So maybe that's playing a part into this. Maybe I still believe in this roster. I definitely don't believe in Matt Canada. But I still believe in Mike Tomlin. We've seen what he was able to do against the Dolphins as the defense had a very bad first drive. And that defense turned it around and only allowed 16 points. I don't always agree with Tomlin. I made that clear this week. But I do believe in Mike Tomlin still. I'm not on that train. I do not believe in Matt Canada. I think it's time to move on from him. And again, I believe in a lot of this roster. There's certain players that I'm not on board with. Devin Bush being one of those guys, obviously. Not sure how I feel about Harris. Najee Harris, that is. We'll have to see if he bounces back after a very slow start to this season. I still think Pickett has the ability to grow as a rookie. He's going to make mistakes. I think people are unfairly comparing him to Ben Roethlisberger and other quarterbacks, including Peyton Manning, who he himself had a bad rookie year. We need Kenny, or we need to allow Kenny to be himself and to grow as a quarterback in this league. Let's see what we got. GT says, it's hot as balls here in Florida. I'm so sorry, bro. Danielle says we need positive cold. Come up to Harrisburg, GT says Danielle. But yeah, man, I'm just overcome with some positive thoughts right now. By the way, the stream, we did add a countdown. That way I can keep on par with how long we have left here before I go live. And I will be going live at 1 o'clock. In fact, actually a little bit before that, but yeah. GT says, bring in GT. GT, did you want to call in? Let's see. Let me get Discord up. GT, how are we looking on the Discord channel, by the way? I have not got a chance to actually look on here. There you are. Let's see. Hopefully your quality is going to be all right. I'm going to call you right now, GT. Let's get GT on the show, man. Let's get him on here. Oh, of course. Fucking every time Discord changes my goddamn settings. No, that's actually showing. So why can I not hear? GT, can you hear me? Oh, okay. Now I got to get you. I got to add you to the stream so they can hear you. You actually sound really good, sir. Ah, nice. Let me pull you up. There you are.
Headphones.
All right, folks, you should be able to hear GT now.
Booga booga. So you asked me about the whole Discord, right?
Yes.
And I haven't been able to do shit because you haven't told me what you want me to do with this shit.
That's fair enough.
I don't know what you want. Yeah, what do you want me to
enough.
do? So I've just kind of been leaving it and letting it be there until you tell me what you want me to do, and then I will do it.
Got you. So there's the update there.
But as for the halftime script, that is ready.
Yeah, so that I got to make that announcement because I know some people didn't probably tune in last night. GT is going to be doing a portion of the halftime reports. He's going to be giving you guys whatever's going on around the league. I will be calling him up after the second quarter, and it should be entertaining. Now, unfortunately, we didn't get all the graphics. We're going to be getting that worked out here soon, and we're going to make this like an actual thing. Now, granted, it is going to only be when GT's available because he has a work life, and he's not always going to be available every Steelers game, but today he's available, and he's going to be giving us what I expect a very entertaining halftime report. Do I have that right?
I think it's entertaining. Danielle says when she read it over that it was very well. So
Danielle approves. That's a good sign.
Yeah. The only difference is instead of I sent you the written copy, all I did was type it out so that way it's a little bit more easier for me to read.
Got you.
Not because my handwriting sucks, but because there's scribble marks in there from your racing sections and whatnot. So I have to make it more legible, so I'm not pausing awkwardly.
The Fiend, actually, I just saw the Fiend's in the building. He says wanted to pop up and say hi and say I'm doing good and I will be back on the 13th of November. So the Fiend, as you guys know, he's currently stepping away to deal with family matters. And obviously, we keep him and his family in our prayers and thoughts. And can't wait for you to be back full time. Definitely missed in the chat, that's for sure.
We always miss the Fiend. One of the great goats of our stream here.
Yes, I agree. Sure. Jacob says, I got my Najee Harris on for the game today. Speaking of which, what is everybody wearing today for game day? Me, I'm just wearing a Pittsburgh Steelers shirt. Actually, the last time I wore this was during the draft. Shirt. What happened?
I'm also wearing a Steelers shirt that I got for Christmas probably like 2 or 3 years ago.
I chose not to rock a jersey today. I was going to wear my Porter, but admittedly, I have no idea where the hell it went. So I chose to just wear a shirt. I'm comfortable, you know? And I do got the terrible towel ready. And by the way, today's terrible towel, if I can pull it up. And of course, I'm hitting the mic. You guys are probably laughing at me here. There you go. This is today's towel. It's a little blurry. The terrible towel, and it's signed by Cope. Not actually signed by him, but it has a message about the terrible towel on the towel. So that will be today's. Hopefully it brings us some luck. I had to retire the OG, man.
I was gonna wear a jersey, but I was like, I'm not wasting a jersey on a game that I know we're gonna get blown out in. So I'm like, yeah. Like I'm 99% sure that we're gonna get blown out 45-10.
Oh, listen.
There's 1% of me that thinks we can win, because I'm never gonna be 100% sure that we're gonna lose.
Right.
Because I always have faith and hope in my team, but in terms of everything, I'm 99% sure.
Well, they say the matchup predictor on ESPN is 86.2 to 13.7. I think it only went up 1 point since last weekend. So, and for the Steelers, that is. And yeah, it's no secret, man. This is not a game, a winnable game for most in Steelers Nation, but around the world as well. Me personally, though, for some freaking reason, it could just be because I got some sleep last night because I've been up for like 2 days straight. I feel positive. I don't know why. Maybe we don't win today, but we see something that we can build upon from this team. Regardless, win or loss, I don't see this team being remotely competitive in a playoff atmosphere. So I'm just taking it, and I'm going to try to look at players specifically and see, who to pay attention to in regards to the future. Things like looking at Pickett, seeing if he continues to develop each week, improve each week. That's what you want to see. Today, specifically, I want him to kind of get away from the turnovers, man. He's got to be smart with the ball. Would you agree with that, GT?
Yeah. I don't know if he's leading in interceptions, but he's thrown an interception in every single game he's played in.
Yeah,
right?
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Now, obviously, his first game played in with the Jets, those were all, 2 of those were wide receivers, and then there was a Hail Mary, so.
Yeah.
But the other games, there was, he threw an interception versus the Bills. It was just one, which was, honestly, I'm kind of happy about, because the Bills have a great secondary. So the fact he only threw one there. But then, who did we play after the Bills? We played was it the Dolphins?
You said after the Bills?
Was it the Dolphins? I don't know. All the games are because I know he threw like 2 versus the Dolphins last week on that.
We played Buffalo, and then we played Tampa Bay, and then we played Miami.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So
did he? Well, he only played partial in the Tampa Bay game.
Right.
But then we played Miami in that excruciatingly painful game to watch.
Yeah, that was bad.
It was painful.
I mean, it could have been worse. 16-10. It could have been a lot worse. The defense really stepped up in that game, in my opinion, which is what I started off the stream here with. So I want to point something out to you guys. Philadelphia, when you look at what they've done so far this season, specifically the last 5 games, I want to bring this up. So against Minnesota, they beat them 24-7. Washington, they beat 24-8. Jacksonville, 29-21. Not a major gap there. Arizona, 20-17. Again, not a major gap. And then Dallas, 26-17. Now, looking at this list,
they have weaknesses.
Exactly.
They have weaknesses.
Exactly. And that's kind of another reason I'm positive.
No, because Matt Canada's a fucking piece of shit offensive coordinator.
Now look,
but they have weaknesses. So.
I want to say this. Matt Canada, yes, has been terrible, and I agree. And I'm going to stick to my guns. He's got to go. But, I mean, this is a game that it came out this week. If he does not win, he's more than likely on his way out. At least that's what we've been hearing through the media all week. And if there's any truth to that, I would imagine this guy is going to have to put his best game film or gameplay together, or planning, I should say. He's got to come with all freaking angles offensively. Whether or not he does it, I don't know.
See, here's the thing about it, though, is do I really think the Steelers are going to fire a coach halfway through the season?
It's not the same Steelers
To
team
me,
we grew up on.
yeah, see, that's the thing. Yeah, I know, but does Mike Tomlin have the balls to do that? Does
That I don't
Omar
know.
Khan have the balls to do that? Does Art Rooney Jr. have the balls to do that? Those are the three people that have the say to fire our offensive coordinator.
And
Do they have the balls to
out
decide
of
to
all those
say
names, Art is definitely the guy that is at the top of that
with the
list.
yeah? And then comes back to the Cold Steel Show, the first one we ever did, where we had the accountability,
Yep.
and it comes down to are those three guys accountable? Can they be accountable? And then your next question would be, who do we bring in? Who's going to
Yeah,
be
they're
interim
going to probably do
offensive
intern for the
coordinator?
rest of the season.
And will that interim head coach do the same thing? Well, Canada was doing, or did they spice it up a little bit? Which honestly, if I'm looking at this, you have the bye week, so even if you fire him, you have a week. You have basically like 2 weeks to train, and pretty
Exactly.
much So, which also is good for a note. T.J. Watt's not playing; he was not activated, even though he was
And that,
practicing.
dude, that is exactly
And
why.
to me, I am perfectly okay with that.
Well,
I
hold
do
on.
not think
That's
they need to rush
exactly
him
why
back.
Tuesday. That's why Tuesday, I didn't really, and I said this during the Kold Steel Show, which, by the way, I'm aware I didn't do one on Saturday. That was by design. On the Kold Steel Show Tuesday, I talked about TJ Watt, and I said I'm not entertaining the idea because everything you're seeing is smoke and mirrors. And look at that. Thursday, everybody's hype. Everyone's making videos. Oh, my God, TJ Watt's coming back. Yay. And guess what? You woke up Friday with a sour taste in your mouth when you found out that is not the case. He will be back after the bye, and guess what? And I'm sure GT's going to agree here. That is the right call.
Honestly, it's a great call.
So.
I predicted him to come back versus the Saints. That was my prediction. I was like, the bye week is the week with the Saints. He's gonna come back. They're not gonna rush him in. They should not have rushed him in.
Nope.
Even though his pectoral, because here's the thing, his pectoral is probably fine. He's probably been fine for like 2 weeks now, and all he was really resting up with his leg. It was his leg, because he did have some surgery on that.
Right.
Just I think it was cartilage surgery or whatever. And so that was mostly what they were worrying about. But now that we're here at the point in time, I think it was a smart call. I think having TJ back versus the Saints is going to be great because the Saints aren't very good. And we all know how the Steelers record has been without TJ Watt.
Yeah,
it's like 1-7 or something like that. So yeah, I think it's the perfect game versus a somewhat easy opponent. So you don't have to go in. There's actually a stat. I think I sent it to you on Twitter.
You may have. I actually have not got on Twitter.
It's since TJ was drafted in 2017, the Steelers have ranked first in sacks all those years. But since week 2 of this year, the Steelers have ranked 32nd. That's how important TJ Watt is when it comes into pressure of the quarterback and just getting sacks.
Yeah, he's a major difference maker. Now, I will say this. If I'm right, and the Eagles do end up losing to the Steelers today, that puts the Steelers in the best case. Well, the best case would be that they didn't lose all these games, right? But if they end up finding a way to defeat the Eagles today, that is an excellent thing for those who are still on that believe train that the Steelers can make the playoffs and be competitive and all that stuff. And this is me just entertaining those people. Yeah, a win today is massive because when Watt gets back, and GT just pointed out those stats, with him on the field, this is a big thing, So there's some positive things to look forward to. A win today, though, would definitely put a cherry on top of that.
Yep. The problem is
sure.
I'm not trying to get overhyped thinking, oh yeah, the Steelers can easily beat the Eagles. It's doable. Any given Sunday,
and right, it's doable.
Keyword. Last year, the Jaguars scored 9 versus the Bills and won the game. So I'm not saying we're going to score 9 and beat the Eagles in a 9-6 game, but any given Sunday,
Any given Sunday, and that's not something that I always used to subscribe to, man. Like back even last year, like people would tell me any given Sunday, and I'm like bullshit. But at the end of the day, we seen that against Tampa. Now, granted, Tampa Bay, we found out after they lost to Jacksonville that they're not a for real team, and it kind of made us
Jacksonville,
look.
You mean Carolina?
Was it? No,
Carolina?
Yeah, Carolina. That's right. Sorry. Or
where they
was it
got
Jackson?
exposed 21-3. No, it was Carolina.
It was, okay. I don't know why. I always confuse
It
those
was last
two
week.
teams. Jacksonville and Carolina, ever since they came to the league,
Speaking
I've
of
always
Jacksonville,
confused.
they're currently playing right now, but I will get
They're
into
losing
that
to Denver, yeah.
later on. I will get into that with my halftime report. They're actually going to be mentioned to the first game I'm going to mention.
That's the
Because,
game they did in London, correct?
yeah, that's the last London game of the season.
Really?
We still have an international game. It's just going to be in Germany instead. So
Gotcha.
still 9:30, but that's like week 10, I think. I think it's the
So
Seahawks and Bucks.
we got, let's see,
So,
we got 23 minutes, so I kind of want to shift to keys of the game. And I want your thoughts on, first we'll focus on the Eagles offense. What does the Steelers defense have to do to put their offense, as Mike Tomlin likes to put it apparently, what do they have to do to put that offense in good position to win a game?
well, first off, it's you have to contain Jalen Hurts in terms of scrambling, right?
Yep.
He's a dual-threat quarterback. Last year, and even maybe this year, he helped the Eagles have the number one rushing offense because he was on that team and he was able to help them out.
Yeah.
So a big portion is he can pass the ball. He's had big games with Devontae Smith and AJ Brown on their team.
Yeah,
But
he's
it's
got
also the
5
fact
rushing
that
touchdowns.
I think he leads the team in rushing touchdowns. I think which is great for me because he's on my he's like my fantasy quarterback. He's like on like 8, he's on like 4 of my ranch on like my fantasy teams. So, but in order for the Steelers to have somewhat remote closeness, it's QB spying him, if you want to call it, QB contain, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, quarterback spy.
And then basically having to make him throw the ball, because while he is a good pass, if you can, calling it harsh, but blitz the quarterback, essentially get pressure, which the Steelers rank 32 in. Yeah, it's a tough challenge, but this is what you got to do. You got to get to the Jalen Hurts, whether it be through, you got to stop him from running, and then you have to get the pressures on him, and then hopefully the defense can clean up with our Minka and the rest of the defensive backs.
Yeah, it's not going to be an easy task for this Steelers defense. Not only containing Hurts, but exactly. Without Watt in there, we know that pass rush is not effective, or at least not as effective as it would be if he was. So containing Hurts by itself is going to be a challenge, let alone Hurts is one of those guys that he can get out of the pocket, but he can also pass. He has 1,514 yards on the season, 6 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions. His QBR is 59. It could be a little bit higher, but he is ranked 9th in the league currently. So he's top 10 right there alone. So Hurts is having a great season, especially when you add in the fact that he's been rushing the ball effectively as a quarterback. 293 yards total, 6 touchdowns, 3.8 average. His longest was 26, which is scary when you consider that when you look at the Steelers defense this season, they have given up big plays across the middle. And again, the pass rush has been a little suspect outside of Highsmith, who surprisingly is having a decent, quiet season.
I think he leads the league in sacks right now.
Yeah, that is a stat. When I saw that, when the Steelers posted that,
Which
I think that was
ironic,
a week ago. Yeah.
It's like, the Steelers are 32nd in terms of sacks and QBRs, yet they have a player that leads the league in sacks. So it's like,
it's so weird.
I guess that means that he's getting all the sacks. That's what I'm guessing, is he's getting all the sacks, and we just happen to have like 6 or 7 sacks on the season,
right?
Which is the lowest. I don't know. Right now, we're projected to get on the season 29 sacks, which is the lowest since like 1988 or something like that. Yeah. We haven't got below 30 sacks since like 19, which is scary. Now, obviously, TJ Watt will come back in 2 weeks, so. And we all know what TJ Watt's like, so I don't know if that will change anything, but we'll see how it goes.
I got to mention the injury report for today. The Steelers are definitely the worst of the 2 teams. Larry Joby's going to be out. That was as of October 28th for all of these, actually.
So does that mean Tyson Alwal's in?
Yes, I believe so, or somebody. I don't know. I don't think Leo. He's not listed on this list, so
I think Leo's either going to be playing, which would be nice to see more of him. or
Right.
what's his name? Not Mondo. It's what's Wormley. Is Wormley in?
Wormley,
Is he still on the team?
I believe he is. I could be
Then
wrong,
yeah,
but I believe he is.
I think he's the backup for him. So we might see a rotation between those two,
Yeah. And then
which
Levy
isn't bad.
Wallace is out again. Chris Boswell, that's probably the biggest story here.
Yeah, isn't Scriba their kicker now?
Yeah, we brought in a guy for the practice squad and obviously activated him to the main roster. And that was that Thursday or Friday? I can't remember now. But either way, Chris Boswell being out of this game is going to hurt the team because he's been the source of most of our points this season. So,
Yeah.
I don't know how well or how good this other kicker they brought in is going to be, but yeah, missing Boswell is probably the biggest outside of Joby. In my opinion, he's been really solid so far this season. I mean, he's not putting up the craziest numbers by any stretch, but he's been productive in his own ways. I mean, that whole entire defensive line could be better. No doubt.
Yeah.
Josh Jackson's out, and of course, TJ Watt on IR. As we said, he'll be back after the bye week, which is going to be much needed. All right, I want to look in chat. Let's see what we got. Lita
seems
says,
like it's a lot of just defensive players that are injured.
Yeah, outside of Boswell being, again, that's probably the biggest hit for the offensive side, considering he gets a lot of our points. And they're not going to be able to rely on Boswell.
Harvin. At least we don't have to watch Presley Harvin do kickoffs.
Yeah.
Like last year, ironically, it left last year during a Halloween game. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, how ironic is that? Steeler Lee is in the freaking chat. What's going on, bro? Kevin says, let's go Steelers Nation. By the way, you guys, after this stream's over, we got 17 minutes left. After this stream's over, you guys should be
watch party.
Yeah, they should automatically, or something should pop up on the screen for you guys to move over to the actual watch party stream, which I'll be doing. That goes live pretty much right after this stream is over. And again, GT will be joining us for the halftime report. It's going to be entertaining. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get the production aspect of it up and running, but that's going to come in the next week or two. And hopefully GT's available for that. We won't know until the week of, but let's see. Vinny, he says, let's go Steelers. Again, guys, my attitude today is going to be a little different. I'm going to be a lot less angry during this stream. And I'm going to be a little bit more positive in some ways. I'm going to try to refrain from pointing out obvious mistakes the team's making and kind of try to focus on whatever good I can find. If I can find. We'll see how that goes.
I have a question for you. Since we still have a little bit of time left, do you want me to go over a little bit about the games that I will be covering? Sort of like a preview?
Absolutely. Take the floor.
All right. Well, obviously, I'll be covering the early game that just happened. That should be finishing up quite nicely.
Yes.
I'm not going to give any spoilers to anything about that because I'm saving that for the halftime show. But I'm going to cover the Carolina and Atlanta game. So that'll be interesting. I'm covering the Jets and Patriots. Another rivalry game. Miami and Detroit, Arizona, Minnesota, Vegas and the Saints, and then our last 1 o'clock game is going to be Chicago and Dallas. So there's your slate.
Are you going to give us a weather report too?
I don't have a weather report kind of set up yet, so no.
It's currently it's 57 degrees in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania right now as of 12:30 p.m. On this Sunday. See, that's all you got to do right there. You just pull up some weather. Ironically, I don't know if this is accurate, but yeah, I guess it is. Yep. It's 57 degrees in Jersey. I mean, that's literally like you could throw a freaking rock from Philly to Jersey, but that just threw me off. They're both 57 degrees. And for some reason, they're not showing the temperature on any of these other games. Okay, there we go. Giants, Seattle, it's 53. Who gives a shit? Why am I talking about the weather, GT? What the hell's wrong with me?
Because you asked me the weather report. I told you I didn't know.
I don't know. I don't know how these reports go, man. It's going to be fun, though. I think you're going to do a great job at this. By the way we're going to do that is towards the end of the second, I'm going to cue you up, and then I'll keep you muted until... it's time to do this thing. So
Now, is DJ Yinzer going to be announcing me, or are you going to announce me?
I'll probably announce you today, but we're gonna work on getting him set up. He's on vacation right now. He's taking a mini vacation. He's had a rough week with
Good
the
for
Pens
him.
losing.
Good
Yeah,
for
he's pretty sad, man. The
Yeah, he can go
Penguins.
suffer with the Pens. He
Yeah,
can suffer with
it's.
the Pens. Yeah.
I think he'll be all right.
Me and Yinzer have beef. All right, let's just say this. Me and Yinzer are gonna have like a
Honestly, bro,
beef.
if you want me to be honest with you, I think he's ducking you right now. I do.
Honestly, I mean that's respectable. He doesn't want to own up to the Pens' losses. All
See,
right,
he talked all that crap to you, right? And then now the Penguins are losing, and he's nowhere to be found. So
Yeah,
that's something to bring up to him when he does come back.
Yeah.
Danielle says we need a weather report. Yeah, GT,
report. GT weather report.
We need a weather
All
report
right.
in addition to the updates on the scores throughout the league. So you gotta really nail this, man.
I'm not bringing on the weather report. I could care less about the other teams and what the weather's like.
It's currently snowy and cloudy in Philadelphia, right?
It's currently snowing in Detroit with a nice temperature of -500.
Yeah, nice temperature, -5. Screw that.
So I could, maybe in like December, not now. I'll tell you that.
By the way, before I almost forgot to ask you this because I just saw Kevin in chat says score prediction, please, in the Steelers game. I say 28-27 Steelers. I like that. But GT, you put a prediction, and I might have missed it, but you put a prediction in the chat. Who?
45-10.
45-10 Eagles. Damn.
Yep. I'm calling a blowout. I'm thinking it's just going to be just like the Buffalo Bills game.
Interesting.
But I think, but the only difference between that is Pickett's played a few more games, so he might be a little bit more well-rounded compared to the Bills game. That was his first start, but no, 45-10.
All right. You know me, I don't do predictions. Say what you will. I just never been into the whole predicting game because you can't predict these things. You look like an ass most of the time you do that. GT, for all you know, that maybe the Steelers come in, they put up 45 today. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, at some point, this team has to fucking turn that corner, man. They got to turn that corner. They can't continue to be this bad. I can't.
It's going to be week 1 of next year when they have Joey Porter Jr. at cornerback.
So you think they're going to go corner? Is that?
I think we have to go corner.
That's your early prediction.
I think we go corner, and then round 2 we go middle linebacker.
Dude, you know what? All jokes aside, everyone in the world knows that knows me. That is knows that Joey Porter is my favorite defensive Steeler of all time, and I don't care what you say. And yes, there's many other players that have been, better than him in their career and all that stuff, more impactful. You can think Troy,
and you liked him, so.
I grew up. I liked him not just because of his play. I liked the intensity he brought to that field, the leadership that he showed on the team, and more importantly. This is going to sound crazy because I've criticized players for things along these lines, maybe not to the degree that Porter did. I liked what he did pre-game. I liked, it was a different football era, and the way he approached the game, taunting players, getting in their face. He's not afraid to fight somebody.
The entire team was different.
It's just, I miss that kind of attitude with this team, not just from defense but from offense. You had Hines Ward, who's willing to lay mother effers out. Freaking
James
Jerome
Harrison
Bettis.
himself.
Yeah, exactly. Jerome Bettis wasn't afraid to hit people. I would like to see that from Najee Harris. Use that body, use that frame that he has to run guys over. He said before the season started he was going to look people in the eyes. We really haven't seen that yet. So, guys, this is the game that this team needs to turn that corner. If it doesn't happen now, well, shit. Even with Watt back, I just don't know. Don't know.
I think Watt comes back and we win maybe 3 more games.
Yeah.
Because the defense can only do so much. The offense can't. Because you can't. You need, even though defense wins championships, you have to at least have an offense that can score to help out with that.
Yeah. Vinny says, do you think we should go for a 2-point conversion for the win if we had a chance to take a PAT to go to overtime? Honestly, I mean, at this point in the season...
Depends on the momentum.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that go into it, including the fact that you got to look at the season overall. Tomlin always says, and he hasn't really lived up to his own word, specifically this season, don't live in your fears, right? So when you hear that, that sounds like an aggressive thing to do. But as of lately, he hasn't really been keeping, on par with what he says in that regard. So
I think if we don't have momentum, then you do go for the 2-point conversion because you don't want to at least give them the chance in overtime to get the ball. But if you have momentum, then just kick the extra point and go for it, and then go for it in overtime.
Kevin says we need a Joey Porter right now. We do.
Yeah, Jody Porter Jr. Yeah.
We need
Familia tie.
Well, I'm saying we need. It doesn't have to be Junior. It has to be. We need somebody that embodies that mindset in a game where, lead by example and play hard. Play hard.
Wasn't Joey Porter a linebacker? Wasn't Joey Porter a linebacker coach like a few years back or something like that?
Yeah, and guess what? He got into some on-field issues. I guess you could say. I don't want to call them issues, but he was Joey Porter. He was a coach, but he was still Joey Porter.
No.
But I liked it. I liked that attitude. I liked the way this team used to be in regards to the mindset. They lost games themselves, but they came into every game with an attitude and a chip on their shoulder. And nowadays, it's less about that, and it's more about, how much money can I... And I'm not saying every player's like this, but there is a big portion of that locker room who only cares about the money. There's no pride in wearing black and gold anymore. So, and that's been one of my biggest issues with this team collectively. Now, this year specifically, we have a change in that locker room. We have new guys with opportunities to be leaders. And again,
Pickens.
Dude, I don't know how, listen, and we got 7 minutes left. I don't know how this team comes into this week knowing what they've heard from the media, from the fan base, guys like myself and other creators. Not that we, probably matter in the eyes of them, but there is so many people against you. 86.2 is the matchup predictor for this game. If you're not looking at that and looking at how this season has gone so far and running through a wall when you come out of that tunnel today, I honestly don't even know what we're doing anymore. 1 o'clock, we better see fireworks from all sides of that football. Special teams, offense, defense, coaching, everything has to come together to beat this Philadelphia Eagles team, which arguably, in my opinion, I don't care what you say, they're a little overrated. The Steelers went... Dude, they're overrated, man.
They're NFC favorites only because they're undefeated, but they're overrated.
Dude, we were a team that was undefeated not just, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
And what happened?
Because we played the easy schedule, and then we lost the Washington Commanders.
And if you remember, I wrote an article before that game, and I pointed out that I had a feeling that it was going to be a loss. So you can see these things happen. But
I kind of saw that we were going to lose. That just the writing was on the wall during that season. It was eventually going to happen.
E-Money says, I think if the Steelers get around 8 to 9 losses, they're done. I mean, yeah. So, yeah. Maybe I'm going to be the only person that has a positive mindset today. We'll see.
Top 10 pick incoming. Steelers currently have to hold the number 7th overall pick in the league. Just behind the Philadelphia Eagles, who currently hold the 6th due to the fact that they had the Saints pick.
Look at me being a homer, chat. I'm being a freaking homer today. What the hell is going on? The sky is freaking red, right? David says, if we win, I'm going streaking to KFC. I like it. I would do the same. I wouldn't go to KFC. I go to Popeyes, man. I'm a Popeyes guy. I don't really care for KFC.
Chick-fil-A.
Ah, man, Chick-fil-A is good. I would say, yeah.
Popeye's biscuits are too dry. The chicken is good. The biscuits
dude,
are
that's a freak. I don't know how we just got on that subject. Well, I guess David kind of pushed us to a different lane here, but I got to be honest. You're not wrong. Those biscuits are freaking dry. As dry as this freaking offense has been this season, the Steelers got to freaking do something.
Well, I like going to Chick-fil-A.
C. Brown says their fan base is arrogant as hell. Oh, trust me. Listen, Brown. So
don't you live in like Eagles country?
Yeah. So I'm about to get into it. I have a childhood friend who I was thinking about bringing on this week, and I don't know if he's watching. Maybe he's watching. If you're watching fresh, leave a comment in the chat, bro. Probably not. All right. So he was my best friend. Obviously, we grew up together in the city. And by the way, for those who don't know, Central PA, we're really close to Philly. We're more close to Philly than Pittsburgh. So I was kind of like a lone wolf out here with the black and gold for a long time. And and I agree with Brown. They have always been arrogant. Now I will say when the Steelers won Super Bowl XL, he was the first person to call me and congratulate me. He sounded like he was going to cry on the phone, but he did congratulate me. So I'll give him that. But my entire life has always been just them being so arrogant, feeling like they're better than the Steelers. And I definitely agree. I think they're coming into this game thinking this is going. And he even put it on Facebook, and I didn't respond. That they were going to run all over us. And then, of course, a Washington Redskins. What are they called again? Commanders. I was going to say Warriors, but whatever. Washington, I still call them the Redskins. I don't give a shit.
I also call them the Redskins. I just don't do it on.
Dude, I don't subscribe to that cancel culture crap. But yes, the Commanders. This guy was talking crap, and I'm like, it's like, dude, I've watched this team win 2 Super Bowls and go to 3. Or like you haven't even seen your team win a Super Bowl, let alone go to one in your lifetime. That's what I'm trying to get to. So whatever, bro. Talk your smack. GT says the Washington Foreskins. Bro, how are you tweeting or messaging on the chat and just say it? The Washington Foreskins. This is uncensored.
That's how GT do it,
Yeah, I feel you. Joshua says, I think we're going to pull an upset. I think they're overrated as well. They are, though. Even if they win today, they're still overrated. I mean, if they win today, they just beat a team that's 2-5. So.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're going to be pounding on their chest. I'm probably going to get messages on Facebook, but I'm not subscribing to that. I'm not responding to that because, it's like a Browns fan talking crap. I can't get into it. I can't get into that back and forth because we've just been so good for so long that it really doesn't bother me. It doesn't. Yeah. It really doesn't because this team is sucking this season and I know they're going to bounce back at some point. Every team that's really good is going to have these bad years. So, but I would love for them to win today. Yeah. Badger says 10.5 dogs. Buffalo was 13.5. Interesting.
Yes.
Brown says Philly 500 Eagles YouTuber said he was going to do a victory video smoking a cigar. My God. Like, why?
Sounds
why?
Like is that Eagle fan on the notorious EDP? Yeah.
Dude, I'm old enough to remember that team that went to the Super Bowl to play the Patriots, man. They were supposed to win it all, and they didn't.
With McNabb and T.O. and how they hated each other.
Honestly, that was supposed to be Steelers, Eagles in the Super Bowl. That would have been incredible. But we all know the Patriots, crushed our hearts in the AFC Championship game. Don't want to remember it.
In 1 year? Oh, that was the Rams.
Oh, actually, I think that was, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that was Ben's rookie year.
15-1 versus the Eagles.
If I'm not mistaken, somebody correct me. I'm getting old.
We almost had a chance for that to happen too, and then we decided to talk up our game against the Jags, and we did not bring up to that. And that was our the first of our many playoff failures since our last win, which was versus the Chiefs.
Yep. Well, GT, we have literally like 15 seconds left. Is there anything you want to get out before we get off of here and head over to the actual watch party?
No, I don't think so. Halftime, it's gonna be a treat, and go Steelers.
There it is. All right, so that's GT. Let me get you off of here. Actually, hold on. Trying to figure this out. All right, there we go. GT's gone. He'll be back for the halftime. We're going to get on out of here. It is officially 12:45. We should be starting in a few minutes on the actual watch party. You guys definitely want to tune in for that. Again, once this stream ends, it should transfer you over to the other one. If not, just go to my main channel and then click on the link from the front page. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time, and I don't care. All right, I don't care that the Eagles are undefeated. I don't care if the Steelers have been on a losing streak. It is time for the Battle of Pennsylvania. And again, I'm going to sound crazy, but For some reason today, I believe in this team. We'll see if they make me look stupid or not. Let's go Steelers. You guys know the drill. Make sure you guys hit that like button before we get out of here. And I will see you guys very, very shortly.